This video is sponsored by the new Rhodes V8 virtual instrument. A few weeks ago, Rhodes, who are the company who now make the iconic Fender Rhodes keyboard, reached out to me to tell me about their new V8 plugin, the first official Rhodes virtual instrument plugin. They wanted me to show off their new V8 plugin by recreating a classic track that uses a Rhodes keyboard, and I instantly thought of one of my favourite songs of all time, which is Thunderstorm by The Doors. Ray Manzarek's playing on that track was a big inspiration to me when I first started learning keyboard, and I've always wanted to learn that keyboard solo in full, so this seemed like a great excuse to do that. So later on I'll tell you more about this Rhodes plugin and a competition that you can enter where you can win not only the plugin but an actual Rhodes keyboard. But firstly, let's take a look at this classic track and see how I can recreate it. Now, many of you may know that when The Doors played live, they didn't have a bass player. Instead, Ray Manzarek used a separate bass Rhodes keyboard with his left hand to play the bass part, whilst his right hand played a different keyboard. However, in the studio, they did have an actual bass player. So the first part of Thunderstorm that I'm going to record is the bass line. Next, I'm going to lay down the iconic Fender Rhodes part, which makes up the bulk of this song. Next, I'm going to re-record Robbie Krieger's iconic guitar performance for this track. And his performance on this track really is a masterclass in not overplaying. He's just playing this simple electric guitar part, drenched in tremolo effect, and he's very, very rarely playing any chords. It's largely just very simple lead parts. Even his guitar solo in the middle is a very simple but effective guitar solo. So we've now done the Rhodes, the bass playing, the guitar, and the last main instrument on this track is the drums, recorded originally by John Densmore. And these drums are very much in a sort of jazz style. They're not a typical rock beat. For example, the snare is very rarely placed on the backbeat. It's more focused on the ride cymbals and just keeping time rather than sort of powering through the song. So that's the main instrumentation done, but of course one of the most iconic and unforgettable parts of this song is the rain and thunder sound effects. So I've laid down in two separate tracks a rain sound effect and a thunder sound effect. And the rain sound effect is going to be playing throughout as a sort of bed, and the thunder is sort of dipping in and out. In this interview, John Densmore, the drummer from The Doors, talks about how when they first recorded this, they got a perpetual loop of thunder sound effects playing on the tape machine, and they faded it in and out during the recording of the track, tastefully choosing their moments where thunder should happen.
We had a continual track of rain and thunder, and then Bruce Spotnick, our engineer, had a couple machines queued up with thunderclaps so we could drop them in wherever we wanted, just like God.
So with that, we're almost done with this track. The last thing we need is the vocals. So for this, I've got my good friend Guy involved, who's in a fantastic band called Nature TV, which you should go check out. I've linked it down below. And of course, we've got the main Jim Morrison vocal here, performed by Guy. But Guy has also added another layer where he's whispering the words on top. And this is something that's in the original record. Jim Morrison, after recording the original vocal, decided it would be a cool idea to add another vocal track where he's just whispering the words as well, which gives the music a very uncanny and unsettling sound.
Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown.
So with the addition of Guy's vocals, we have now completed our recreation of Riders on the Storm. So just before we listen to that in full, I want to tell you about how you can enter this competition to win your own copy of the new Rhodes V8 plugin. To mark the release of the first ever Rhodes virtual instrument, the V8, Rhodes are inviting you to record your own missing keys part to a short film, and you can do this using a 45-day free trial of the V8 software. Follow the links down below to download your free trial of the V8 software, enter the competition, and you could not only win your own full version of the Rhodes V8 virtual instrument, but you could win an actual Rhodes Mark 8 keyboard. the submissions from the competition will be judged by James Smith from the band Yard Act and the one and only James Blake. The Rhodes V8 virtual instrument is a really sophisticated, detailed plugin. There's so much control over the sound of the instrument to the point that it's almost like having your own Rhodes keyboard. So I would highly recommend you check it out using the links down below in the description. Right, so that is the competition. Follow the links if you're interested. And now let's listen to our recreation of Riders on the Storm.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you depends. Our life will never end. Gotta love your man. Yeah. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm.
And here's the rain part. Thunder. After we finished the song, he said, "Oh man, I've got super rain and thunder. It's riders on the storm. It's raining on the desert, right?" "Yeah, exactly, Bruce. Raining on the desert." He said, "We got to put in some rain and thunder." So sure enough, I mean, the whole thing starts with, and then that bass line.